Alright everyone, and here we have the Gulf Williams livery. Yeah, I've gone for a different version of the version that was selected. I've gone for a more basic version. I think it actually looks a lot better than the version that they chose. A lot cleaner, personally speaking, but let me know what you think, of course, in the comments below. Yeah, obviously this livery will be debuting at the later this year at the Singapore, Japanese and Qatar Grand Prix, so we will see this a version of this livery. But personally, for me, this livery goes with all the other Gulf liveries that we've had. You know, they are fantastic to see, personally speaking. But of course, there's no point steering here and looking at it. We could look at it all day, but instead, what we're going to do is going to get a race at the old layout of Singapore. Yes, and a little bit of a twilight race as well, to mix up as well, although it's not going to be as quite as light for long as it was at Monaco in last week's McLaren livery video. But yes, we still got the old final sector. Singapore, I've not actually raced here on this game, so it's definitely going to be interesting. The game, I haven't done any qualifying, so the game's put as P11. Race strategy is going to be a one-stop. I'm thinking medium soft might be the way to go forward. It's slightly slower, but I'll have to wait and see about that. What we can do. 5 red lights then for the Singapore Grand Prix, and away we go. And it's about to start from Hulkenberg and Magnussen. Both Hasses not having a very good start there. Verstappen's a bit down the order as well. Not his usual dominating is Haas decides not to give me any room. We're just gonna carry on anyway. As well, Hamilton cuts in front of us. I did think about having a look at Hamilton, but nothing doing there. We stay behind him for now. Verstappen's a little bit slow off the start. You can see he's holding up a bit. The two Aston Martins are second and third there as well, but you can already see by the time we get to sector 3 through this old little section. This section isn't going to be here this year, I should point out, in case you didn't realise that. And this will be updated later on in the F1 23 game cycle, but we don't exactly know when. Up the front though, it's Sergio Perez who leads from Fernando Alonso. Third is Lance Stroll. This is where Aston Martin wanted to be at the start of the season before they got overtaken in terms of performance by everyone else. Our teammate, who I've called an American version of Nicholas Latifi, he is holding up everyone again. So yes, the game seems to give him a high qualifying position for some reason, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is George Russell retiring from the race, and he's held up his teammate ever so slightly for me as well, which is fantastic. Of course, they're all getting held up by Stroll. Stroll, we all know, isn't as fast as Alonso, and therefore has been left far behind by Perez and Alonso, as Verstappen having a go at Sainz, getting a bit fed up and waiting for the two Ferraris to make a move on Stroll. Sainz has probably been told not to attack Leclerc as usual, as Alonso comes in a little bit early, lap 9 of 21 here in this 35% race for a set of mediums, a little bit early there. I'd expect a little bit later on, maybe lap 10 or 11. Sorry, lap 10. So I mean, he is the first to come in, Alonso. We're coming in at the end of lap 12. As I say, not really doing that. Alonso has set a fastest lap though. We'll have to wait and see if he comes out against Perez. I'm not sure he will. The Red Bull has a little bit too much speed as well. We're coming in, we trundle down to the end of the pit lane for the Gulf Williams livery crew. I haven't done anything to their helmets. That they are the default helmets, by the way. As we come out, I think in P11 as well, but obviously some are yet to stop, like Piastri as well up ahead. And speaking of, there is Charles Leclerc stuck behind Oscar Piastri. It looks like the Ferrari is going to get past through Piastri. Remember that McLaren isn't the McLaren we know in real life. It's the McLaren from the first part of the season. And there's Hamilton, and the undercut has worked an absolute treat on Lewis Hamilton, and we're through up to P7. But Hamilton wants to get back past us right away. We're on absolutely none of that. So we almost go off circuit. We're going to dot down the inside this corner as we now enter the backbone of the middle sector. We force him out and retain P7, so that is fantastic. Now, we've let him past here on lap 15 to get DRS, and we're just going to try and get past. But it looks like DRS isn't as strong as around here as some of the other circuits. We have a good gap. I think we can defend, even if the car behind has DRS. Down the inside again at that corner, Hamilton getting once again slowed up. As well as Sainz finally gets past Stroll. Leclerc has done as well. I'm sure it's Verstappen's only a matter of time before he gets past Lance Stroll. So Stroll dropping down the order, sadly for him. As well as we've made a mistake there, got an ability to cut the corner basically, and now we're having to weave on the straight to avoid Hamilton making the overtake. Hulkenberg is starting to close in a little bit as well. Not Magnussen, who's been overtaken by Ocon, but we have forced out Hamilton once again there, and here he is. Magnussen, he's stuck behind Ocon, even though he's on the better tyre, he can't get past Ocon, who's having a better recovery. He's escaped from the absolute train and a half that the American Latifi is forming. As Hamilton once again has another go on lap 17, but are able to defend the inside there and retain P7 for now. Moving to later on to lap 17 on to lap 18, Hamilton is having this big go into turn 1, but we're once again trying to defend through there. He doesn't leave us that much space. I mean, you have to ride the curve, but the FIA deem that legal when we move on to lap 20 over the bridge now. This is also a horrible brake zone before that DRS zone. Did Hamilton move into the back of this here? We'll get a replay on board with Hamilton as he goes over the bridge. Yes, he went into the back of us there. I think he locked up a bit, so he's lost his front wing and he's had to pit. I don't think that's my fault, but let me know what you think in the comments below. But nevertheless, I mean, Williams will be ecstatic with P7 at Singapore. It's not a track that they've got targeting for points really, but yes, nevertheless, P7, I'm sure they'll be very happy with that. Driver of the day, though, has to go to Charles Leclerc, as well, who did manage to recover to get P3 in the end, to take that away from Stroll. Verstappen did actually get Sainz as well in the end, just showing that, the game sort of miffed him off really with giving him a P8 starting position. Sargent, as I said, American Latifi. Hamilton, not a great race for Mercedes there as well. Although Hamilton almost did manage to overtake the De Vries, but not quite in the end. So yes, that's where I am going to leave this episode. If you have enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe, and new to the channel. See plenty more F1 2023 fantasy livery videos. I'm not entirely sure what the next one will be. It might not be out next week. We might, because we have got some game experiments that we do need to do. So I might be switching to those and then coming back to fantasy liveries at a later date for those that obviously require a bit more than just a livery potentially. So yes, until the next video then, I'll see you next time. Take care, enjoy your day, and goodbye.